is KC Sports Network, proudly presented by Emprise Bank.
And we're back here on Kansas City Sports Network with another episode of The Breakdown. I'm Matt Hamilton. That's Chase Daniel. And Chase, the Chiefs got a big win over the Bears. Having a struggling Chicago team come to town.
Yeah.
So I think the recipe for success to kind of get this offense back on track, looking the way we've become accustomed to it looking over the years. What stood out to you about that big performance on Sunday?
Well, I just thought I liked how the offense finally got back on track. I think that was the missing piece in the first two games to the Chiefs. And I say missing piece, they lost one game in those two games and ended up going to Jacksonville beating them. But I thought that with everything that went on with Chicago and their organization last week, from their defensive coordinator resigning to Eberflus to Justin Fields' comments to Justin Fields' play, all that stuff, I think the Chiefs did a really good job, honestly, just in the building, just locking it all out and making this game about them and not about the Chicago Bears, not about Justin Fields, not about the D coordinator, not about anyone else like that. And that's just, to me, a sign of really good teams. And I was actually talking a little bit to people inside the building after this win. They were just like, hey, listen, we made it about ourselves, and we were just really focusing on our offense on starting fast. And boy, did they ever on Sunday against the win. I mean, they got out to a big lead. Patrick Mahomes played 2.5 quarters, almost 3 quarters, which was insane as a starter when you're doing that. So it's been pretty cool to see that happen. I think that was their missing piece. Their defense is playing at such a high level right now that the offense could take a couple games to get rolling. Now you see, hey, they're in midseason form. This is who we are offensively, and you're going to see here in these clips, it's going to be a lot of misdirection, a lot of Patrick Mahomes just being Patrick Mahomes, a lot of eye candy from the defense when we get into it. But I was super impressed with the win.
Yeah, I was as well. And the Chiefs now have a top 5 scoring defense, and the offense was ranked like 23rd in total offense coming into this game. They're now back in the top 5 as well. It's amazing how just this point of the season, how quickly things can shift when you have one big week. But yeah, I love hearing what you had to say, because Kay and I were having a discussion this week on my other show, Up and Adams, and Kay was thinking, we've seen the Chiefs play down to a few teams, like the Texans game last year. There have been a few moments where, against lesser competition, they don't always put out their A game, but I just had a feeling with what you were saying, we know they haven't been as sharp as they want to be offensively. This wasn't going to be a letdown game. This is a game where they could really lock in and work on the things they wanted to work on with this offense. And we saw it. I mean, you can't have a more impressive performance than that. And, if they needed any extra motivation, having Taylor Swift up there watching you don't want to lay an egg in front of her either. So,
yeah, no, there's no doubt. I mean, with Swifty in the stands, you got to show out. And I think that just, honestly, that comes down to coaching. Like, that comes down to Andy Reid and Matt Nagy and Steve Spagnuolo, the coordinators. Like, hey, look, I don't care what is happening outside of the building, as long as we come in, take care of business, put this team away early, kill their will from an early part in the game, then we should have success. Let's make this game about us, and that's exactly what they did on Sunday.
Absolutely. And let's dig into some of this film, because we got a lot of good stuff. We got a lot of good eye candy. When this offense is really rolling, it's when Andy Reid, Matt Nagy are giving you a lot of different things to look at and play with. What stood out to you on this play, Chase?
Well, I can see right here, pre-snap, that they're going to be in a cover 6, and the cover 6 look is weak rotation. Cover 3, we call it strong rotation. The free safety is coming down. He has the B gap right here, and when he rolls down like this, you're going to see Travis Kelce. He's going to end up being in the backfield. We're going to bring Noah Gray in motion right here, and what they end up doing is they end up crossing paths. Okay, and that's pretty cool to see from this standpoint, because when you're the Chicago Bears defense, you're going to be like, hey, like, look, we got Noah Gray, we got Travis Kelce, we got Pacheco, we got Watson, all these guys are legit guys in the backfield, and they're just going to use a little eye candy. And all it is here, the route is very simple. Okay, Sky Moore is going to come on a deep cross route. Okay, all deep cross route is 18 to 22, 18 versus man, 22 yards versus zone, and he's just going to wrap in the window. Look at this. How am I supposed to see as a linebacker what is happening? So what you want to do on these play fakes and these play actions like this, you want to get the second level defender's eyes, okay? And when you're getting their eyes, you just want to have a little bit of candy. And the crazy thing about this is that they end up getting 5 out in the route still, which is super impressive. Look at this pocket. And both of these defenders, they're going to see Travis Kelce short of the sticks and probably shouldn't, but they're going to come up and they're going to go and try to take him away and leave Sky Moore behind here, just completely untouched, and just doesn't get much more wide open than that. Then obviously what they do best is they do yak yards after catch. Sky Moore's pumped up and ready to go.
Yeah, and Mahomes seeing that window open up, the anticipation there from him, the timing is perfect. This is what we love to see out of the Chiefs when they're rolling. A lot of different guys getting involved in the offense, and it continued. It was a constant theme throughout the game. It wasn't just one guy. It was everybody on this offense really making plays and not making mistakes, which I think was a big part of this too, cleaning up some of that. So let's move forward now to the next play here in the red zone. Rashee Rice, the rookie, getting involved. Chase, I know this is a play that you're very familiar with. Walk us through this one.
Yeah, I mean, this is just an easy trips formation down here. Travis Kelce's not in the game, so they're not paying him any mind. And what Chicago is going to do is they're going to go to cover two. They're trying to protect as deep parts of the field. And what's open with cover two is all the underneath routes, specifically Tampa 2. What's Tampa 2? It's where the Mike linebacker runs through. You're going to see him here. He's going to end up carrying Noah Gray vertical, okay? And Rashee Rice is going to go find between the hashes, and that's how it was taught. Just go sit at 5 yards between the hashes, and this is like a patented cover two beater. This is Andy Reid thinking and knowing that they're in cover two. Rashee Rice just going, sitting down. Both of these underneath defenders, the nickel and the will, they're supposed to squeeze with the quarterback's eyes in cover two, and they don't. 53 in the nickel, they don't. They spread out, and it's like the easiest completion of Patrick Mahomes' life, but it's really, really well taught. Patrick Mahomes knows when his back foot hits, he might have one hitch. If not, then it's 3 plant throw. And Rashee Rice, just get in the end zone, bro. You had two of these down to the 1 yard line, but just a prototypical cover two beater play right here.
Yeah, and both of those plays, both were the same play. They just flipped it the other way and had Kelce in there. But yeah, and you see it as soon as Mahomes sees Tremaine Edmonds open up like that, he knows that he's going to have Rice and gets it to him on time, gives him a chance to make something happen after the catch. You love to see it. And Rice was one of 10 Chiefs receivers to catch a pass on Sunday. Again, when this offense is really rolling, it's everybody getting involved. It's not just Travis Kelce. It's never really just one guy. Like we saw last year, all the best games they had offensively, it was everybody getting involved. And if you see this, Matt, I mean, roll back a little bit. I want to just look at Patrick Mahomes' footwork right here because it's really impressive. Like it is. I mean, I can't. Like Patrick Mahomes is still coachable. Like if you roll this right here, he literally hits. This is how it's taught in the meetings and install of day one of this offense. Hey, on this route right here, we're going to throw the ball and replace the Mike linebacker. And you see here, Patrick Mahomes hits his back foot. There's no hitch. There's no hitch up. Him hitting his back foot, 1, 2, 3, ball out without hitching, allows for the defense to open up a little bit more, allows Rashee Rice to have the run after catch, the rack, the yak that we say. So Patrick Mahomes still coachable, man. This is exactly how it's coached. Get it to him as quick as possible and let him do the rest of the running. Really impressive job right there by Patrick Mahomes. Yeah, and I love all the crazy stuff he can do with his arm, but this is the stuff that he's been doing more and more consistently over the past couple of years that is going to make him successful as he gets on and on in his career. And maybe he can't do some of the things physically that he can do now. But yeah, that being said, we got to get to this one. Play 3. I mean, this is just as Mahomes as it gets. Chase, walk us through this.
Yeah, I mean, they're under center play action, heavy play action. We actually got Travis Kelce blocking, so it's a block him up, 7-man protection. Okay, and what they're going to have is they're going to have some time, and this actual play right here is just a little out route up top. They're trying to run a corner route by MBS, and then Watson on an over route, and nothing's open. They have it completely covered. So Chicago Bears fans, you're feeling good, but here comes Patrick Mahomes. They work it so well. They go on a little scramble, Joe. Patrick Mahomes moves up in the pocket, and the pocket actually is not as clear as he thought. He actually runs into the back of his receiver or into the back of his O-lineman and is able to make this throw, okay, to Watson, which is absolutely unbelievable because there's not many people in the world that can make this throw. And not only the type of throw he makes, but also when he steps up into the pocket right here, he's running right into the back of 65, his offensive line, which is not good, okay? But right there, he's probably thinking like, hey, how do I need to throw this ball? Because Justin Watson's looking over his left shoulder. He said, no, I'm going to throw it over his right shoulder, make him understand that he needs to switch the shoulder he's looking over. And oh, by the way, he's making this within 0.5 seconds. There's no one in the world that can make this throw exactly like him and understand that he has such an unbelievable imagination as a thrower, but not only does he have the imagination, he has the arm talent to do it.
It really is unbelievable. And he gives us one of these pretty much every week. It's like nothing I've ever seen before. And we've talked about too, one thing that I love that it gets a little lost in all of the all of the incredible visuals here. When we go back to that sideline view, we talked early on over these first couple of weeks about establishing that chemistry with the wide receivers, the communication, and just that understanding of things. And just watch as Mahomes steps up in this pocket, Sky Moore and Watson pretty much simultaneously turn upfield, know that this is going to be a scramble drill, and take off up the field. And seeing just that, like at first I'm like, is this a planned double move? Because look at how in sync they are. They turn as soon as they see Mahomes step up, they both turn upfield.
I thought it was a double move at first too, but then I rewatched it, and the throw here is the key, because a lot of quarterbacks can think, hey, I'm going to throw this, I'm going to step up. Not only does he have the arm strength to do it, but it's the arm talent that really I just come back to, because he's stepping up into the pocket. He thinks he has some space, ends up stepping up too far, and keeps his eyes downfield, and then just knowing in his brain, like, hey, I'm going to try this. I know he's looking over his left shoulder. I'm going to throw it to where my guy can get it or no one else can get it. And honestly, like, give credit to Justin Watson, because that's a heck of a adjustment midair for him to be able to do that too.
Yeah, and it's starting to look like we're going to get a big Justin Watson play every week now too. I think we're 3 for 3 with Justin Watson plays on this show. So you love to see it if you're a Chiefs fan. They're keeping this offense rolling, but next week is going to be a very different test, because whatever you want to say about what's going on with the Jets offense, and we'll get into that a little bit too. Would love to hear your thoughts on what we're seeing from Zach Wilson. But that Jets defense is going to be a very different animal from what Chicago showed. What is going to be the key to the Chiefs keeping this rolling against such a talented defense?
Well, I just think the Chiefs caught fire at the right time. I think that built a lot of confidence, not only in their offense, but in their coaching staff, to be able to, hey, we understand what we're doing as an offense. We know what type of plays that we have that are working. We know now that through 3 games going into our 4th game that we're connected as an offense. And some teams it takes longer than that. Some teams it takes 5 to 6 games. Right now the Chiefs are connected on offense. They are finally finding out who their identity is. Having Travis Kelce back obviously helped. But with the Jets, it's a different test. And I think the Chiefs, if the Chiefs end up scoring 20 or 24 points in this game, they're going to end up winning, because the Jets right now on offense are a blasphemy. It's ridiculous. They can't do anything with Zach Wilson at quarterback. And so the Chiefs have to feel good about it, but it is without a doubt going to be their most difficult test. And the Jets aren't going to do anything crazy. They're going to sit back and they're going to play quarters, but they're going to tackle well. They're going to give them some opportunities for some big plays down the field. But that offensive line, I think, is up for a big test against this Jets front 7. And it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. It's going to be interesting to see, especially the first 15 script of Andy Reid. He usually likes to get his linemen nice and settled, his quarterback settled, nice, easy completions. And then as the game progresses, continually, if he has time in the pocket, get to his 7-step play action drop, get to his run action type shots down the field. And so we'll see how this goes this coming week.
I'm glad you brought up the script, because Chase, having played in that offense, one thing that always stood out to me watching, but I'm interested to hear your opinion having played in that offense, just to me, Andy Reid consistently has just the best script of any coach. Like I can't wait to put on the game to see what his first 15 plays are going to be. What's your perspective on that?
Well, he just does such a good job of not only thinking and knowing what is going to work in his opinion, and hey, this might work, but also he gets a lot of opinion from the quarterback group, and especially Patrick Mahomes, like, hey, if we don't like this, like, it's out. Like, don't worry about it. And there's usually a really good mix. There's a lot of different personnel groupings. There's a lot of different motions and shifts. There's a lot of different type of plays. There's a run. There's a misdirection. There's a play action, screen, shot, 3-step. I mean, he likes to have that type just so he can get into a feel of it. And the thing is, like, we've been in situations in games before, he's stuck with the script. And there's been times on 3rd down in the red zone that you're going to get out of it. You might score in 6 or 7 plays and then end up being in 3rd down, or in the red zone, you get off the script. But there's been plays where there's been the 3rd or 4th series of the game, and we are still on like play 13 or 14 or 15 of the script. So it drags out. It's not like, hey, He's just going to follow this script down the road if we're in third down, red zone, special situations. So that's what's cool to me, is to see it actually play out through the game.
Oh, that's awesome to hear. And I love that tidbit too, because we always think about great coaches. It's, the Belichicks, the Parcells, they're giving orders and guys are following them. But I do think that collaboration, talking to your players, getting that input for your players, I think is such an underrated thing.
Yeah, that's what makes them special, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's great. It's great to see. Just on the Jets side of things, wanted to ask you quickly before we go here, just from Zach Wilson, is there any hope here that the Jets get this thing turned around? What is the key to getting the best out of him, given what you've seen so far from that Jets offense?
Yeah, I mean, they're struggling as an offense right now, especially Zach in general. And what I saw from him, I mean, look, he's faced two really good defenses, right? Dallas Cowboys, probably the best defense in the league. Obviously, what they did against Arizona laid the dud, but I still think they're the best defense in the league. And then obviously against New England, Bill Belichick style defense, they're always playing really tough. So you got another tough test with the Chiefs defense, because in my opinion, they're top 5 in the league. And so you got to do something to get these things rolling. You can't just sit back there, hand it off to Breece Hall and Dalvin Cook. Like, you got to make plays, and you got to be able to operate within the offense. And Nathaniel Hackett, you got to come up with some plays that, hey, this isn't Aaron Rodgers. This is Zach Wilson. You got to get him comfortable, do what he does best, get him outside the pocket, get him on the run. But right now, it's just not really clicking for him right now. And I don't know why, but it just looks like he's playing a little bit like he's seeing ghosts back there. I was watching some film and watching some stuff. He has stuff open downfield, but he's not really trusting it right now. And the biggest thing for Hackett and Saleh with Zach Wilson is, bro, just get your confidence back. Like, whatever you need to do, get it back. I mean, you're going to be facing a very, very aggressive style defense. You make sure against Steve Spagnuolo, you're going to have some hot answers ready, because they're going to heat you up from the start.
Yeah, and how much does that play from a Chiefs perspective, knowing that you're facing an offense like that on the other side that probably isn't going to put up a ton of points? You have a defense that you're facing that is pretty aggressive, that can create some turnovers, that can get after the quarterback. How does it affect your strategy as an offense? Do you try to be a little bit more conservative, more protective of the football, or do you look at it like, we're the Chiefs, we play our game and make everybody adjust to us?
I think the Chiefs are so far and away superior in their attitude and mindset that the Chiefs are saying, hey, look, we're just going to play our game. We're not going to do anything. And I think that's where teams can sometimes get into trouble is, hey, we're playing not to lose. No, the Chiefs have always played to win, and we'll call the dogs off when we see fit, just like they did against Chicago, 2.5 quarters, and they pulled almost every single starter, and it was good. It was good play for these backups. And I think the Chiefs are just so far superior in that mindset to say, hey, like, we're going to play our guys. We're going to worry about ourselves. Exactly the mindset they had against Chicago last week. Worry about ourselves. I think it should be the mindset this week as well.
And shout out to our guy, Blaine Gabbert, getting some action for that last quarter and a half. But Chase, as always, great insight here. We'll be back to break down this Jets game and keep looking ahead for you every single week here on KC Sports Network. For Chase Daniel, I'm Matt Hamilton. Thanks for watching.